Goat keeping is one of the most profitable activities in Nyanza. It is easy to start because goats are hardy and can withstand all sorts of difficulties, and there is a tradition of keeping them. So you can make use of the local methods that involve very little or no cost at all. And the environment is just right for it. Here, author Adrian Onyando tells us how he did it from scratch, from a state of ignorance about goat rearing to a stage where he is becoming an expert in it. It all starts a year ago in March 2020 when Kenya registered its first COVID cases and the government imposed a curfew in the country. Adrian was stranded somewhere in the bush where he had gone for a walking meditation. So, what do you do when you are locked up in a wilderness? First, he saw the very environment in which he had been trekking as ideal for goat farming and bought a piece of land there. Next, he built a simple structure in the middle of it. Then he considered choosing a breed of goats that would start him off without costing him much, even as he learned the ABC of goat keeping. Mind you, he was starting something that he didn't know, so he was in some sort of experiment, and that can be very costly. It is better to keep it as cheap as possible. He went for local breeds that cost an average of 3,000 Kenya shillings. I thought that I could come to this bush and start a new project so that I don't lose. And I came here. This was all bush, all this area was bush. It was all bush. But then we came here and we cut the bushes here and we put up this house. This is a very simple house. You can come and see. Come. The house is made of just the local materials here. We have got these trees which you can find anywhere around here. And we have got these poles. And these are sisal. These are sisal poles. Sisal poles, all through. So we thought we could just make use of the local materials. The only things that we brought from outside were these iron sheets. Now, in all, it turned out to be very cheap. I just used something like 50,000 Kenya shillings to put up a structure like this. 50,000 Kenya shillings, that is around $500. $500. Okay, so we put up this structure and I bought some goats, and soon the goats were comfortable here. As you can see, these are just a few kids. Most of them have gone out to be herded by the people. But the main point is this, that starting a goat project is not very difficult. You only need a piece of land, like the land I've got here. We go for goats that usually have a history of kidding twins. So that way you will be gaining twice. After 6 months, you'll be having, for each goat, you'll be having 3 goats. After 1 year, you'll be having for each goat another 2 goats. So 3 plus 2, that is 5 goats. So you can do your calculations. After 1 year, you have got 4 goats more from just 1 goat. Then you are actually on the right side. But then it is also a challenge because local goats are small. They don't weigh much. So when you take them out into the market may not be very receptive towards them. So what do? I think that from my experience here, you can go for great goats. Goats like the Boer goats, Savannah goats, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. After 1 year, in which I've had, some experiences, some of them good, some of them bad, I think that I've learned enough now for me to go for what is going to be more beneficial. And I can tell you in the next clip what actually needs to be done, the challenges that we have and what we need to do in order for us to contain those challenges.